Good morning, Reverend Robert Ugen Doshin Yamada here, and welcome to the Animal Liberation Temple, Dobutsukayaji, where we are at the service of the spiritual and physical liberation of our dear animal friends. We'd like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the ancestral and seized lands of the Yokuts, Karkan, Confederate villages of the Lishan, Ohlone, Miwok, and Miwokma people. We recognize them, the legacy of violence, settlement, and displacement of the people who suffered and survived. Good morning, Jackie, and good morning, April. So good to see everybody. Thank you for you folks joining in live, and good morning, Martin. So good to see you too. Let's get started with the temple updates. We're still running fundraisers as we're still using fuel every day to run the generator to keep up with the electrical demand here. And just overall costs, everything's cost higher, food, things like that. But those are just kind of normal, regular things. Good morning, Tani. So good to see you. But let's move into the updates of our residents. We have our duck friends, Breve, Greve, and Renee, all doing really well. That also includes the other 3 foster ducks, 2 Pekings, and 1 Indian runner, all of which are doing really well. Our dog friends, Lucy, Bernard, and Victor, all doing really well. Everybody's eaten their breakfast already. We have our goats down the hill, Rob, Matt, and Phil, all doing really well. Our tortoise friend Miyachi, he's doing really well. Got his really big salad because of the higher heat. Miyachi's eating a lot more. Priya and Harriet, our turkey friends, are doing really well, eating their breakfast right now. And then we have our Cornish friends, Jax, Jimmy, Edward, Poppy, Aster, Ivy, Azalea, Peony, Cynthia, Lotus, Magnolia, Sage, Marigold, Camilla, Hydrangea, Holly, and Zinnia. All of them are doing really well. And then we have the 3 hen friends in the more than 3. Our hen friends in the main aviary, Glennis, Gwen, Alice, Rebel, and Mariah, all doing really well. Then we have all of our roosters, which are Sabrina, May, Hard One, Elton, George, Brad, and Kudu, all doing well. Our guinea fowl friend Wendy, also doing really well. Our mourning dove friend who's in the house, Sequoia, she's doing super good. I can hear her in the background making noise. Hasu, our dear rat friend, is also doing well. And then we have all of our pigeons: FP, Champagne, Tulin, Sasha, Yo-Yo, PD, Ricky, Spreckles, Spencer's, Shambles, Beluga, Beth, Pee-wee, Cascade, Augustus, Rufus, Harper, Elliot, Snickers, Boba, Kismet, Farah, Angus, Pandora, Joan, Sin, Lago, Fred, Tramonto, Halo, Vin, Capone, Percy, Pacino, Lacey, Sasha the Second, Dora, and Endora. All of them doing really well this morning. Just checking my comments, making sure I didn't miss anybody. We'll get started with the recitation of our prayers, sutras, and vows to our dear animal friends. As a reminder, these prayers are of great auspicious benefit to all who hear them, and that we ask that you have your companion animals nearby or in a place where our wild animal friends might be able to hear these prayers intended for them. Also remember our dear insect friends. We'll start with the recitation of the Great Heart of Wisdom Sutra, found on page 4, recited in Japanese. Maka hanya haramita shengyo kanji zai bosatsu gyojin hanya haramita jiso kengo unkai godo isai kuyaku sari shishiki fuku kufui shiki zoku ze kuku zoku ze shiki ju sogyo shiki yaku bunyo ze shari shi ze shoho kuso fusho fumetsu fuku fujo fuzo fugen ze kokutsu mushiki mujo sogyo shiki mugen ni bizetsu ni mushiki shoko mi soku ho mugen kai nai shimui shiki kai mu mu myaku mu mu myojin nai shi muro shi yaku muro shi jin muku shu metsudo muchi yaku mu tokui musho tokko bodai sattai hanya haramita koshin mukege komu kufun rise tendo muso kugyo nehan sanze shobutsu e hanya haramita kotoku wa nokutara sanyaku sanbodai kochi hanya haramita zedai shinshu zedai myoshu ze mujo shu ze mutodo shu no jo isai kushin jitsu fu koko zetsu hanya haramita shu zoku zetsu shu watsu gyate hara so gyate boji soaka hanya shingyo. waku wa kono kudoko mote ama neku isei ni oyoboshi warera toshija tomina tomono butsuro animal liberation o jozen koto jiho sanshi Foshi Son Bosa Foshi Son Bosa Mokosa Moko Hoja Horo Mi. We now recite the refuge prayer in Tibetan and in English, page 8. Sangye chodan tsuki chonam la janju partuk tekti gipsu chi taki jinso kipe sonam ge drola pender sangye juparsho. The Buddha, Dharma, and excellent assembly of the Sangha. Until I attain enlightenment in these I take refuge. By my practice of the six perfections may all sentient beings attain the state of Buddhahood. We now recite the four great Bodhisattva vows in Japanese and English, page 9. Shigi Seigan. Shujo Muhen Segando Bono Mujen Segandan Omon Muryo Segangak Botsudo Mujo Seganjo. However numerous sentient beings, I vow to enlighten them all. However inexhaustible my delusions, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the dharmas, I vow to master them all. However endlessly enlightened way, I vow to follow it fully. We now recite the 6 vows to our dear animal friends. However numerous my dear animal friends, I vow to liberate them all. However diverse the methods of animal liberation, I vow to support them all. However unheard their voices, I vow to speak out for them all. However painful and inexhaustible the methods of suffering, I vow to bear witness to them all. However infinite the cages and tanks, I vow to empty them all. However difficult animal liberation, I vow to achieve it completely. We now recite the 100-syllable purification mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Anupalaya Vajrasattva Te No Pachisa Dome Bhava Sito Shome Bhava Supo Shome Bhava Anorato Me Bhava Sava Sita Me Prayata Sava Karma Sita Me Chicham Shri Yum Guru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sava Tata Gata Vadrama Me Mucha Vadri Bhava Maha Samamya Safaha. This morning I put a prompt in the comments just asking folks if they'd like to comment in the chat any specific topic or questions you have for today's talk. I posted that in Facebook and on YouTube just to see if anybody had any ideas. Um, and I don't see anything yet in the comments, and that's okay. If people don't have anything, that's quite all right. However, I will give some people a little bit of time to kind of go over and maybe think of something. If not, no worries. Um, I guess I can talk a little bit about this past week and maybe some of the takeaways that I got. I spent Thursday evening in the ER from chest pains. Luckily, it really was nothing. It probably was anxiety or stress or something like that. The doctor had told me I'm really very, very healthy and didn't see any signs. I had blood work and x-rays and EKG and all of those things. And it seems that everything uh, turned out really good and I'm very healthy. And we just wanted to like be sure that there wasn't anything wrong, just to be on the safe side. So we went to the doctors to make sure. I do see April put a prompt in here. Sorry, I didn't see the prompt. I'd like to learn more about prayer, BD action. I know you've spoken before, but what about prayer life? Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, I'm doing really good. Very healthy. So I don't want anybody to worry just because I went in with chest pains. Probably just stress. But April mentions something about wanting to know a little bit about prayer. Oh, good morning, Susan Fryman. So good to see you. Thank you for joining our live. Um, so my perspective of prayer and this idea, does prayer work, and does it have any utility? And I would say that, from my own perspective, I think prayer is very functional and works very well, because when we set our mind to a positive intention, when we pray for something, positive result, or a result that is negates something negative or something horrible from happening, where maybe we're praying, that our dear animal friends don't suffer, or we're praying that we can overcome an obstacle, or we're praying for the long life of a dear friend. Does prayer work in these specific situations? And I would say that I'm not sure if it works, but it has a more positive effect than not. And that is because we are setting our mind and our intention in the direction for good, right? So in Buddhism, we talk about first, we have the right mind, meaning that we have the right thoughts, that are we have the right intentions in our soul or in our heart or in our mind, however you want to put it. And then those right intentions, those right feelings, the prayers evolve onto our speech, and then our speech is shared with other folks, whether we're talking to somebody or just speaking them out loud, so that the sound is heard. Maybe they're heard by our insect friends. Maybe that sound is heard by others around us, and so we speak these prayers out loud. And then thirdly, the most important part of this whole thing is how it affects our body. And we can see that as taking physical action, or doing something to manifest our prayers, to make sure that these prayers come to fruition by taking positive action, by taking forward action, to actually doing something to make sure that our prayers are actually manifested, or our prayers are actually come to fruition through our action. And so this is really important. But all of it starts in the mind. All of this starts with our thoughts. And so when we recite the prayers, when we have our own personal prayers that we may pray in private, and maybe our prayers we believe are being sent out to a god or gods, or to a deity, or to the whole world, to other beings. No matter where we believe our prayers are going to, is of little consequence. That actually, what I'm wanting folks to do is just have that right intention, to start with the right intention. And that intention turns into that right speech, and the right speech turns into the right action. And so prayer is just the first step to taking the right action, to doing the right thing. So this is where I think that prayer is really important, and that we should be doing them. And we have like our own set of prayers here in the Animal Liberation Temple prayer book, and then also, it could be your own prayers that you're doing to your for yourself, maybe to a god or deity. I think that doesn't matter who the prayers are going to. What matters is that it starts in your own mind, that you start with that first intention. And I think that just getting your mindset to do good things, for good things to manifest, positive things to manifest, to avert disaster, to avert negativity in your life or in others' lives. Having that first intention is that first step to manifesting these things, to making them a reality. And ultimately, that's what we want. We want a reality where our dear animal friends don't suffer anymore. And so if that's the prayer, like, we first have to start by acknowledging that there is a problem, and that we want to pray to make sure that we can overcome this problem. And we start to think about it and manifest it in our heart, manifest it in our mind. And then we start speaking about it and sharing that prayer with others. And so that they may also start to think about it and embody it in their own heart, embody it in their own mind. And then together we'll all take action. We'll all take the physical steps necessary for our dear animal friends to relieve that suffering. So this is where I think prayer is important, because prayer is the first step to animal liberation. So this is why I think prayer is important. I hope that answers your question, April. And yes, I have spoken about this before. and I'm not sure if I understand it, but what about prayer life? Is the question, and I'm not sure if I understand that. If you wanted to elaborate on that, and I know that there's a delay, so I'm not asking for people to. Okay. Jackie sent a question. I'm dealing with a heavy topic. My best friend of 50 years is dying of multiple sclerosis. She qualifies for MAID but wants to be alone, so intends to OD on a very strong drug given to MS patients alone, no friends or family present. I visit her regularly, and last visit she started a hurtful argument with me. I was shocked to say that at least I don't understand why she did that. She has started that she will do it sometimes in August this month, and I refuse to let the argument interfere with the time we have left together. But what she said really hurts, and I don't understand her thought process. Disappointment that she felt the need to lash out, but believe she didn't mean to hurt me. Okay, so Jackie, I think your question is extremely important, and it seems to be of a very time sensitive here. Uh, as folks, whether it be our human friends or our dear animal friends, are approaching that end of life stage, it is very important that we manifest and set the right intentions to make sure that they receive all of the blessings that they possibly can can have to see them into their next life, whether that be reincarnation, whether that be your belief in a heaven, whether that whatever you think that the next life may be is inconsequential to the immediate need for the end of life to be a positive process. And so, if there is any transgressions in your relationship, it's of the utmost important in this time to forgive them. If there is any tension in that relationship, it is very important to be able to let go of those tensions, both on her side, as your friend's side, and on your own side, to just let go of these possible tensions that you might have or disagreements that you might have. It is very important to let these go, and that is to ensure a positive transition and a positive next life. And I understand that maybe I think that towards the end of our lives, we experience a lot of separation. We experience a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, and we may want to lash out at others. We may become confused and think that our best friends in the world are the ones to blame, and I think this is just a confusion brought on by suffering. And so, if we could recognize that it is a confusion brought on by suffering, we can let go and try our best to support them during this time. And I'm really very happy to see that you refuse to let the argument interfere with you, and interfere with that small amount of time you have left together. And I would remind folks that death is not an end, regardless of what your beliefs are. Even if you believe that that's it for them after this lifetime and there is no afterlife, that their words, their spirit, the way they made you feel, carries on And that is in itself is a reincarnation, and that in itself is a extension of their life is through you and how they made you feel, and the relationships and the memories that you have with them. That is definitely, without a doubt, how they can live on. And so this is why at the end of their life it is important that we, you know cherish these moments that we have together, and this most important time of their life, that we cherish them, that we learn from them, and that we kind of enable their spirit to continue on, to gather more positive karma, to gather more positive deeds, so that their impact on this world can be a continuation of positivity. And this is like the best blessings that we can give for our friends is to take this moment and use it to turn into something positive for them. So I highly recommend that you not only seek to make sure that this relationship is repaired, but also to do positivity and to do good things in their name. This will be of great benefit to your friend if you can, you know, donate your time, resources to a charitable cause. If you can just, you know, think of a lesson that they had taught you and teach someone else. All of these things can be of great benefit to them and their journey. So I implore you to let go of any hurt that they might be imposing onto you. I think this is really important, to let go of any type of hurt that they might cause you, and to focus strongly on the positive effect that you can have for their transition. But I really appreciate this question, and I'm very sorry that your friend has been dealing with such a horrible disease for so long. And I am grateful that I believe this is in Canada, so they have a you know right to right for a dignified death laws in Canada, and I'm happy to see that for folks who really need that and who are suffering greatly, to be able to have that option. Um, and I'm sure that this has to be taken very seriously, and I'm glad that someone like you, Jackie, is there to support your friend through this situation, even if she wants to be alone. Allowing her that moment, however she wants it to be. I think it's beneficial. I think that we should look at the situation that maybe, she's probably feeling like she's caused so much pain, not only for herself but for others, and she may feel that in this last private moment of her life that she doesn't want to cause any more pain to anybody else, even if you strongly want to be there for her. That she may feel very oppositely, that she doesn't want to cause any more pain to anybody else. And so I can understand that feeling that she might be having, and even if it's the wrong decision, to try to help her, support her in this short time that she has left with us. And I will be continuing to pray for your friend as well, that she has a beautiful life moving forward. Um, hmm. Yeah, I think that's beautiful, Jackie, that you recognize that she'd do the same for you. And I know you're going to miss her. And I think to ensure that her memory isn't lost is that you continue her teachings and continue any positive feelings that she could have manifested in you throughout her life, to share that with others, and to do good deeds in her name. I think is the best way that we can honor folks. Yeah, I feel your pain though, Jackie, and I would implore you to, even if you can't physically be there, but to pray and be with her spiritually. I think is the what you should be doing. April clarified meaning finding the best balance between prayer and contemplation and action. Monk in a cave is tireless activism. Sorry, I need to hear it over and over. My propensity to retreat into and stay. In a cave, I'd never come out if I could get away with it. Yeah. So my point is, so rather than even being a real balance between prayer, contemplation, and action, that it's not necessarily a balance, but it's a step by step, right? They're each one of them is a step forward. So you have prayer, or contemplation, which is step one, right? Is where it starts. We should start with the intention, with the positivity, with the love, with the compassion within our own mind, within our own body, within our own heart, within our own spirit. We pray and we contemplate as step one, right? And in step two, we share this contemplation. We share this prayer through our words, through pronouncing our prayers out loud to others. And this is the method of sharing, right? So that's step two, and then step three is the actual activism, which is the actual taking action, manifesting these things in real time with going to these places and taking that action. Getting, maybe it's getting a bill passed, maybe it is holding a sign, maybe it is you know, rescuing an animal. Maybe it's spending time with an animal. Maybe it is, but whatever it is, it's taking action as being the third step, right? So we shouldn't see these as necessarily a balance, but more as three forward moving steps: pray, speak, take action, and then repeat, right, for each things that we need to do, right? Or when we find that our action was incomplete and it didn't turn into the right, it didn't manifest what we had prayed for, then we go back and we pray again, we speak about it, and then we take action, right? So these are just three steps that we continuously do, and these steps should be moving forward rather than trying to find a balance, right? Rather than I'll sit in a cave for 50 years and then I'll talk about it for 10 years and I'll take action for 50 years. Well, that's 110 years, which is longer than a human lifetime, so that doesn't work, right? I am very much opposed to the idea of sitting in a cave and meditating for too long. If you can sit in a cave for 3 days and meditate, awesome. Do that. Then get out and speak about it for 3 days, and then go and take action until you've manifested what you needed to manifest. And if at that time, only after you have tried to take action and it has failed, then we can return back to prayer and reevaluate and recontemplate and start the steps over again and take the steps 1, 2, 3, right? Oh, okay. Meaning finding the best balance between prayer and contemplation and action, a monk in a cave versus tireless activism. So I need to hear it over and over. Our propensity to retreat and stay in my own cave and never come out. If I could get away with it, yeah. So don't retreat into a cave. We live in a world today. I think that maybe 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, retreating into a cave may be beneficial. But I don't think we live in a world anymore that is beneficial. I think we live in a world that we are already exposed to all of the suffering in this world. We've already been exposed to it. So contemplating whether or not suffering exists is we're beyond that point. Contemplating whether or not we want it to change, we're beyond that point. So the prayer may be the shortest step that we take. Pray quickly and then move into speaking about it and spend the most amount of time taking action. And so I think that, I think what you're searching for, April, is a balance between these things, but it's not a balance that you should be seeking, but rather you should be seeking to spend the shortest amount of time on prayer. Maybe maybe it's a daily practice, right? Maybe you pray for 5 minutes every morning, and then you spend 2 hours talking about it and 4 hours doing something about it, taking action, right? This would be the balance, right? It should be progressive. You take, step one, it should be short. Step two should be a good size step, and step three should be your longest step. And so that is, if you're looking for the definitional balance, and then that is it. But this is a continuous journey and a continuous step where we pray, speak, and act. Yeah, thank you, Tani, for that, for your comment. Okay, so I hope I answered people's questions. Those were two very big questions and very important. And Jackie, I would love if you'd like to reach out and talk more about this situation, and how I can, support you even more. But I think that you're on the right track. I think you understand that, using this moment to just be the most supportive and most compassionate to your friend is going to be the most beneficial in this moment. And being able to learn as much as you have with the small amount of time that you have, to continue her memory and continue her legacy of compassion, I think is going to be the most important thing. But if you want to talk about this more, please reach out. So we'll conclude with the Animal Liberation Prayer, the dedication of merit, our credits, and a quick tour. Recite the Animal Liberation Prayer, page 12, 13, and 14. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who are subject to unbearable pain in labs throughout the world, be free of all suffering. May alternatives to animal experimentation, vivisection, and dissection be implemented immediately. May bodhicitta, the quality of compassion that leads to enlightenment, fill the hearts of those who imprison them. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who suffer endless days, months, and years locked in tiny cages unable to move, be filled with peace and calm. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who are forcibly taken from their families, be reunited, and may all families be able to stay together. May the hearts of those who work in slaughterhouses, factory farms, and all industries that exploit our dear animal friends be filled with bodhicitta, so the very thought of harm is purified. May they never kill again, and may the slaughterhouse lines, factory farms, and all industries exploit our dear animal friends become immediately empty. May no animal be afraid or depressed. May their bodies be free of injuries, disease, and illness. May the mutilation of their bodies be forever ceased. May those who need homes have been driven from them find shelter, plentiful food, and water. May there be liberation for those tortured for fur, entertainment, or who are hunted. May those who believe that they are superior to our brother and sister animals develop perfect equanimity, and may they realize in their hearts that all sentient beings possess Buddha nature, the potential to be completely free of suffering, and that they are not ours to kill or exploit. May the billions of land and sea-dwelling sentient beings who are abused, exploited, and killed due to greed, hatred, and ignorance be free of suffering. May all the nets, hooks, blades, projectiles, traps, snares, cages, pens, tanks, lethal restraints, saddles, reins, prods, bait, poison, and all instruments used to harm, exploit, and dominate our dear animal friends be forever abolished. May all human and non-human sentient beings live together in harmony, peace, equanimity, and achieve perfect enlightenment quickly. May we all experience happiness, safety, freedom, and animal liberation in this very lifetime. We now recite the dedication of merit to our dear animal friends. Throughout our many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue we have accomplished, including this aspiration for peace, and all that we will ever attain, this we offer for the benefit of all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends. May suffering, exploitation, and unnecessary death be decreased for every being, while wisdom, bliss, and compassion increase in this and every future life. May we clearly and instantly perceive the plight of our dear animal friends with the urgency and seriousness they deserve, and our every action leads them to complete liberation. May we quickly attain enlightenment and work ceaselessly for liberation of all sentient beings. Thank you to all the wonderful folks that contributed to our dear animal friend residents of the Animal Liberation Temple from the 26th of July through the 1st of August. Thank you to everybody who's liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing on our social media. I'd like to thank our Venmo donors, Remy Marine X, Vanessa Ka, and Tani Salazar, and our PayPal donors, James Boakes, Lama Tachiniama, and Pastor Robert Monroe. Thank you folks so much. And then, of course, our Patreon supporters who support us every month: Susan Fryman, Neil Carmen, Paulina Bradford, Paula Partenheimer, Shanna Hunter, and MV. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to consider donating through any of our platforms, it can be found here at our Linktree Animal Liberation Temple. Mentioned we are a 501c3, so all donations are tax deductible, but that probably only applies in the U.S. And I know we have wonderful Canadian listeners that might be not tax deductible. So thank you, although, so much. And we will do our tour if folks want to kind of hang around here. And let's see here. Audio. There it is. I think I have audio. Yeah, it sounds like I do. This is just through my iPhone. So folks who realize it is a little shaky, that's because it's on an iPhone. I think we have 3 sleepy dogs. Victor, Lucy, and Bernard. Yeah, we're all doing really good. It's nice to see you all peaceful this morning. Our Cornish is. I don't see Miyachi, but his food's all done, so maybe he's... Oh, there he is. Didn't even see you, Miyachi. How you doing? Getting big. Everybody still eating breakfast. I don't know if you can see little Indian runner and our goat friends. Wild turkey friends up here on the hill. Victor. Hi, Victor. You want to say hi? Good boy. Yeah. Okay. Come in. Ooh, sorry about the shaky camera, folks. Probably make everybody dizzy. All right, thank you all so much. Thank you, Jackie, and thank you, April, and Tani, and Martin, and I think Susan joined us this morning. Yeah, thank you everybody who's commented and shared our message with folks online, and I really appreciate everybody. Everybody have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. Reach out if anybody needs any support or wants to talk more about anything.